Hello, welcome to another one of our craft afternoons. Now today I've got two activities for you because they're sort of shorter activities which you might want to do both of them, you might just want to do one or the other, okay? But there's two videos that I've put up the links to. The first one has been inspired by one of the pictures in our book, and it's that picture of the pufferfish that's been inflated and is carrying those three fish like a hot air balloon, okay? Now pufferfish are really interesting fish because the reason they blow themselves up is because they want to appear bigger than they are. So if something's really small, it looks really sort of like easy prey, easy to be eaten. Whereas if something's bigger, other things think, oh, actually, that's quite big. You know, I'm not going to go near that, I'm not going to tackle it. And when they blow themselves up, I've got a picture here, if I try and show you, they have all these spines over the top. So they look really quite menacing. And they look a little bit silly as well. So we're going to be using a different technique today to make our pufferfish. We're going to be using some paints. I've got some paints here. I've got my white and I've got my yellow. Mix that with a bit of gold to give it a bit of shimmer. Okay, and I'm going to be using a fork in order to paint it. Now, how on earth do you paint something with a fork? So what we're going to do is going to be different to make that effect of all those spikes. Okay, and we're just going to do it like a paintbrush, but using the back of our fork. So the back tines we're going to use. Okay, and we're going to dip it into our paint. Okay, and we're going to drag it just up our page a little bit to create those spikes. Okay, now on the top of our pufferfish is our sort of browny gold, and on the bottom is that white. So we need to kind of imagine we've got our circle, and the top half's going to be that yellowy gold, and the bottom's going to be that half sort of white colour. I'm just going to dip my fork in here, make sure I've got a nice covering of paint on the back. I'm just going to begin gently dragging it, and obviously the more you lay it down, the more paint you're going to get to drag off. Now you might want to do, as you go round, okay, some different layers, and start with one layer and then put the other layers on. I'm going to turn my page as I do it as well. And each time I'm just getting some more paint. Okay, and I'm imagining that circle of my pufferfish. Okay, is a bit like that. And you can see where the fork is dragged out. Okay, I'm going to put some white in the middle there. Okay. And you can see where that fork is dragged out, it creates those spiky effects. Now I'm going to go and do another layer. Slightly further out. And obviously, depending on how big you want your pufferfish to be, I'm doing it on a bit of blue paper. Okay, depending on how big you want him to be, okay, it's up to you. Now where the paint's gathering, I'm just going to drag my fork through that again. Okay. And I'm going to kind of leave my bottom like that. So you can see we've kind of got a half circle, but it looks pretty spiky. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what I haven't got, is a pot of water. Okay, well, not to worry. I'm going to mix my gold paint just with my fork. Gold and yellow to make it kind of a browny colour. With a bit of shimmer. Hopefully I'm going to have enough here. Okay, in order to do it, we will see. I've not got loads. Okay. Turn my page upside down, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Okay, in the top half, okay, with my gold. Start with that initial first kind of circle. Not the greatest fork this, because the tines are a little bit wonky. You want it's nice and flat. The good thing about a fork is it's much easier to wash than a paintbrush. Sometimes paintbrushes can be really difficult. Get in there as well. Right, I'm going to make that my first layer. I'm going to go around again. He's beginning to take shape. Obviously, as you do this, if you find you kind of get out of shape a little bit, and mine's circular-ish, I'm going to put a little bit more over this side. Just to make a little bit nice out there. Okay. So we've got our basic kind of shape for our pufferfish. Now obviously you might fill in these bits with a little bit more yellow or white, okay, but we've got them there. Now obviously on our picture they look rather strange because they've got these strange sort of big eyes and this surprised looking mouth and those little fins on the top. So what you might want to do, and I'm going to see if I can do it, I'm going to put my fork down there because that's what we're done with our fork technique here. Take some white. I have been using a dark colour with my paintbrush, so I might have to use a little bit more white. We will see. It's coming out a little bit purpley. Okay, this brush is quite thick as well. You might find you have thinner brushes, which are a bit more use at home because this is going to be quite tricky. Okay, to do it. And I'm going to get a bit of yellow because I want them to have a faint sort of yellowy tinge. Because they're not completely white or they're not completely yellow. Okay, let's put a little bit more in there. Okay, and I'm going to wipe all this excess paint off here because I don't want too much. And then I'm just going to paint those two sort of fins. They come out like triangles here. Gently run my brush through. And when it's dry, what you might want to do is with a very thin brush, or even maybe one of the tines of the fork. In fact, actually, I'll try that in a minute. Because obviously I'm working with wet paint in a minute, so we'll see how well it works. They look kind of like he is. Okay, so I'm going to put my fish there, put my brush down. And with one of the tines of my brush, I'm going to use my lighter colour here, my darker colour, sorry. This is for my other project, but and I'm just going to create some lines on our fins. Do the same on this side. And as you drag, when you load up your paint, as you drag it towards the edge, you'll see it kind of gets thinner and thinner. It starts quite thick at this edge and then gets thinner as you come out. Okay, put that down there. Okay. Now, what I'm not going to do at the moment, because I don't want to mess up my lines that I've got here, I'm going to wait for that to dry. Okay, and then to finish this off, all I do is do my kind of black mouth with a kind of white outline around it, and the same with my black eyes with a white outline around them. But you'll be able to have a look at the picture that I upload with this, okay, and you'll be able to see what the effect is. But that will create that, using that fork, okay, it's amazing what you can use to paint things, and using that fork creates those spiky kind of effect, okay, and using the yellow and the white, okay, to create our pufferfish. I've left quite a bit of a gap here. What you might want to do is maybe link it up a bit more with your pufferfish, but they'll look fantastic. And it's not that long, it's nice and quick. Okay, so that's our first video. I look forward to seeing them. I'm going to do our second video now. See you in a moment.